Take two. Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and it is Tobacco Tuesday, coming to you commercial free. And this evening we will be taking a look at the number 4 review, the product of the number 4 review of the European Snus playlist. And that is another Oden's product, surprise, surprise, Oden's Lime. So, this is not an extreme variant, so I'm guessing the nicotine will be a little bit lower. I was interested in the flavor profile on this. So what you have here is basically the standard for basically all European snus. It is a plastic upper and plastic can, all right? I say upper and not lid because these lids come down farther. If they came down any farther over the can itself, they would basically be 2 halves of a can. So, basically standard. These are a little bit bigger than dip cans. They are about the same height. The reason why they're usually a little bit bigger is because of what they have that dip cans don't, with the exception of when Timberwolf had it for their pouch products about a year ago, year and a half ago. And that's a catch lid. All right, so on these, you have that. All right, it's a shallow depression in the can lid. This one has a top that is attached. That is nice. All right, it's for used portions, pouches. All right, so on the side, you have a barcode. You have Swedish warning label. You have a miscellaneous bird, portion Oden's original. That is original, right? Okay. Another bird. Lime, portion 18 grams. 18 grams, I'm guessing, is the total weight of the product in the can. Then another bird, of course. More small branding, a bird. And we're back around after a whole bunch of birds. So, on the back, you have an English warning label, and then you have very small print underneath. Underage sale is prohibited. Keep out of reach of children. Chew bags, because we can't call this snus. It has to be something chewable, so they're now chew bags. Filled with the finest cut tobacco, manufactured by GN Tobacco in Sweden. You then have a manufacture date and a Best Buy date. All right. So the manufacture date on this one is July 21st, 2020, and the Best Buy date is July 21st, 2021. And you can see them there. Underneath that in the fine print, there's dates is the ingredients list. It's very short. Refreshingly short, in fact. It has tobacco, water, salt, natural oils, humectant, and acidity regulator. And then G&N Tobacco's branding down at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to run a finger around this. It almost looks like this is perforated. I'm wondering if it is. And it is not. But you know what? No, it is. It is perforated, but it's not like kayak, like perforated. But it is made to break easily. You just get a thumbnail in there, even where it doubles over on itself. Okay. And wow, they're big again. Seriously, I think snooze pouches since I stopped using them fairly regularly, I think they've gotten bigger. Okay, so that's what you're looking at. It's sort of like a dip pouch, only the moisture isn't there. The smell is, I guess there's a little bit of lime there. You got to understand when you're dealing with European products that their definition of some flavors is not ours. They vary. It's very stark contrast when it comes to wintergreen stuff. Which is why, in reverse, I was surprised about the Oden's Wintergreen Extreme. Because it was almost like they were shooting for the American version of wintergreen with that product. It was quite obviously, overtly wintergreen as we know it. Then we got a couple on the last review of this playlist, the creamy wintergreen, and they were like, yeah, we're done with the American version. We're going back to our way. The Swedish way. So there is a hint of lime here, but it is smelling very much what I would term a natural, regular version of snus. The regular natural for European snus, which is tobacco, not quite dark fired, but it's a definite tobacco scent with citrus in there, or something that gives you the idea of citrus. That said, this one is not overtly registering as lemon, which I am guessing is because it's lime. That's what I'm going with. So, going out of the can, they are, I guess, see, I used to use a lot of snus back in between 2010, let's say, and 2014, okay? And I had stuff coming in from places like Snus Central, coming out of Europe, and I don't remember the pouches being this big. Or maybe it's because I've been looking at nicotine pouches that are ridiculously small. So this is a fairly good sized pouch as far as snus goes. I mean, that's not bad. It's pretty plump. It's basically the same setup, like seam-wise and whatnot, as, you know, like a regular line Skull product, only not quite as big. The moisture level is not quite as high. Not to say that this stuff is dried out. It's not, but it's not supposed to be damp to the touch, damp to the lip, okay? So I'm going to throw this in. I guess I'll throw it in up top just to see what the face profile is. I have a feeling I'm going to have to hit the pause button here because this is going to take a while, I think. So, yeah, see that really, anything up top, maybe it's because I'm self-conscious with the feel of something up top. Anything up top with me, like unless it's really, really small, I feel like it's obvious. So, there's no burn, there's no mouthfeel, although I wasn't expecting it with this. I think I am going to hit the pause button because I have a feeling this is going to take a minute to get going here. All right, so let me do that and I will be back momentarily. And I am back. Okay, so I was actually going for a couple of minutes there. The differences in flavors from the US to Europe. In the United States, especially with stuff that is sweet, but in general with all smokeless products, there is a lot of emphasis put on flavor. That is, there being a lot of flavor, like almost overkill flavor. Usually this is really seen when it comes to sweet. Sweet is like way overboard sweet. And when it's not sweet, even then, there must be a lot of flavor, no mistaking what you've just put in your mouth. In Europe, not so much. They are much, much more, let's say, subtle when it comes to the flavoring of things. So one thing to keep in mind for people that like sweet, if you get something, any European snus is not going to be the sugar bomb, basically, that things like Camel Snus or even the Skull Snus products are, if you even want to call them snus products. Okay, it's not going to be, if you get something that's mint or some type of mint, it's not going to be Skull Snus mint. Okay, it's not going to be like a mint bomb going off in your mouth. There'll be an aspect of mint. You'll have to sit there. You'll have to be like, yeah, okay, I see that. Okay, sweet. They really don't do sweet. I can't really think offhand a European product, snus-wise, that has been overly sweet, ever. There have been things that you thought maybe, okay, this is sort of leaning a little sweet, but there is no overtly in-your-face sweet snus products coming out of Europe. Okay? It's not, they're a different animal from that. They're not that. There are no candy flavors, okay? So if you're a big fan of something, let's say like Timberwolf Peach, there is nothing like that in Europe, okay? You're not going to find, even if you were able to find a peach snus, you're probably going to have to sit there for a few minutes thinking about what's going on in your lip, going, yeah, I think that is peach. Their idea of peach, if they were to do it, and to tell you the truth, I don't even know if there is a peach snus coming out of Europe, but if their idea of peach wouldn't be like a Timberwolf peach, it would be more like a flavor profile, sort of like if you were dipping peach, the dry snuff. Yeah, is that peach? It's maybe peach. I can't say it's not peach type deal. So the lime here is very subdued, okay? That said, it is not the usual citrus profile of most original, regular, natural European snus products. That is usually sort of a lemon-esque essence flavoring with the European snus tobacco flavor, which I cannot really explain to you. It's not dark-fired, okay? But it is natural. It's very natural. It's not bad. It's not a particular favorite of mine. It's not something anymore that I go out of my way for. But it's not bad at all. Another pro of products like this, actual products coming out of Sweden and whatnot, unlike some of the products you find in the States, or products you find in the States that are marketed for the States, maybe they're European companies, but they're made for here, you'll never have to worry about spitting. In fact, you'll never even think, maybe I should spit this. And as an example, I will say the Thunder products, which I believe somebody was telling me have already been pulled off the market. The Thunder products that were being sold, U.S., they're in the American snus playlist. I did review them. Those were very uncomfortable in the throat. And when it gets uncomfortable in the throat and starts like sort of burning-ish in the throat, I start thinking, you know what? Maybe I don't want this coming in contact with my stomach lining. And then I start reaching for a spittoon. With a product out of Sweden or Denmark, that is not going to occur, all right? The strongest ones I've had, even the Siberia Blue that I did, which they have stronger ones now, but that's the strongest Siberia. I did not feel that I had to spit at any time. So that is a pro, okay? It is actually a tobacco product. It's not some sort of weird white powder in a tiny, tiny pouch. It is actually a quality tobacco product that you actually do not have to spit with, okay? The flavors are subdued, though. This one is the same. And I know I'm making generalizations here. Don't mean to. This is a review of this. But this sort of plays, or could be used as an example, for the products coming out of Northern Europe that are snus or chew bags. If any EU officials are watching. Chew bags. It's a chew bag, obviously. I'm chewing on it. So, this is lime. It's very subdued, as I said. It is... I still have it up top. It's got the snus tobacco, the tobacco flavor that their products have. It's not bad, as I said. It's not something I really go out of my way for anymore, but there's nothing wrong with it. People that are prone to naturals, dip-wise, you're not going to have the salt content. Whereas you're not going to have sweetness on the other side of things. You're not going to have the salt content registering, okay? So it's sort of, it's very subtle, right in the middle of everything. It's not too sweet. It's not really salty. The flavors are subdued. They're there. You got to think about it maybe a little bit. It's not bad, but it's not like, boom, this is what this is. I'm like, I didn't just have a lime explode in my mouth. Let me put it that way. There's nothing candy about it. Nicotine on this product. It has it. I can tell you it has it. I did get contact mouthfeel, partly because I never have anything up top. So I noticed. So it does have nicotine. I don't feel like doing anything else right now. It does not have the nicotine of the extreme products, which 2 of the 3 previous videos on this playlist, there's only 4 of them total, are Oden's Extreme. You know the nicotine's there on those. It lets you know. This, again, sort of have to think about it, but it's definitely there. It's definitely there. I don't feel like doing anything else. I'm sort of a little bit, okay, what are we doing now? But, you know, you're not going to be looking at, like, nicotine levels of, let's say, Kodiak Wintergreen. Nah. If you're interested in snus, because I could be at this for quite a while, years, trying to get through all these products. If you're interested, that there are snus channels, okay? I mean, if you're really interested to the point where, like, oh, you know what? I think I may want to learn more about these products. You'll learn more about the products here, but you're going to be waiting for, I mean, by the time we get up to that level, it could be a year or 2 from now. So there are snus chews. I'm just taking the piss now. There are channels like Snooby.com, I think is actually the full name. Has a YouTube channel. He's reviewed anything and everything you can think of. And from time to time, I believe he has actually reviewed Dip, too. So you might want to go check him out. I'm not affiliated or with him. I've talked to him before. I've reviewed one of his own personal products here. I have not talked to him recently because I have not been able to get into my email. But stuff like that, there are channels that solely deal with stuff like this. And if you want to know a lot more about stuff like this, those channels are probably where you want to be for this. This one, it's all right. I mean, there's nothing particularly wrong with it. It's got the nicotine. It's got good packaging. I mean, yeah, metal lids are not a thing in Europe. There are a couple with metal lids, but that is not like, you know, a standard that they go by. So the packaging's good. It's not going to be compromised. It's an all plastic container, but it's good plastic. I can't even get into it right now, in fact. So, count. I didn't count. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So that tells me that they're 1 gram pouches because it said 18 grams on the side. And I have a grasp of simplistic mathematics. Sort of like that. Anyway, So that's that. This has been the review of Oden's Portion Lime. Fairly good sized pouch. Very subdued flavor. Okay nicotine. But I mean, I wasn't expecting a nicotine bomb going off. This is what I expected. It's there, it's present, and I can tell if I take a second and go, yeah, it's there. The lime is very subdued. It's not going to be anything that a lot of Americans would be like, wow, this is the best lime product I've ever had. No, this is not that. However, there is a hint of lime there. It is sort of sprinkled over the Snus tobacco flavor profile that Europe has. All in all, it's all right. It's all right. Oden's Portion Lime. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy. Next week, we have a special Tobacco Tuesday. Next week, we will be actually doing a first line chew review. And that is not the playlist chew review part 2, the original chew playlist. That is a product I've never done before. A brand new chew, partly because it's a new product. Anyway, until then, I will be back tomorrow night with something monetized. Watch it. Just do it. Don't ask questions. Just watch the video. Anyway, I do hope you all are well. Do take care of yourselves. And as always, God bless.